Welcome back, Bears Nation. We are live and we are locked in. Draft week is here, okay? Ryan Poles, it's your moment. Today, we're breaking down every major need, every prospect you need to know. Big show day, okay? And right now, I just want to welcome back D Nice to the show. So, listen, we want to talk and we want to set the stage real quick about why this draft matters so much because the Bears are coming off a really tough 2025 season. Expectations are very high. Caleb Williams, we know, is the guy. It's very nice to know that we don't have to go look for a quarterback, which seemed to always be the necessity in Chicago. But now it's not. We found the guy. He's that dude. He's number one, but he needs weapons and he needs protection. And Ben Johnson offense is only as good as the roster around him, right? So I feel like even though it's as good as it was last year, it could be better. He didn't get to install everybody that he needed. He got to install as much as he can for his first year. And I thought it was pretty good, especially with that draft class. They really nailed it. Now, Dennis Allen's defense, it needs playmakers badly. He does not got all the guys that he needs. He needs to get these guys in the draft. And I think right now, this is a make or break year for him. I really do. We've got to see some of those numbers, top numbers, come way down, especially when you're the teams that are against us, the opposing teams are just at free will. They're just running on us like 4 to 10 yards at a time. It's crazy. Why even pass the ball? You can win against the Chicago Bears if you run the ball. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully they can stop that gap and we'll see what happens. But I said, this isn't just a let's see what happens draft. Poles has to nail this, man. He has to nail this for sure.
Absolutely.
His seat isn't cold yet, but the oven is warming up. So, D Nice, how much pressure do you feel is on Poles right now?
Speaking of Poles and pressure, that's synonymous with his tenure here with the Bears. But you have to, I think it's important that you keep the seat a little bit warm just to hold them accountable. This is a very huge draft possibility. This can make or break this football team. Of course, 11 wins are great. It's great for the fans. But when it comes down to this football team, Ryan Poles has an opportunity in this 2026 draft to take this team to a higher level.
I agree, man. And speaking of which, I will tell you this. The Bears, we all know, have 4 picks in the top 90. That's rare leverage. That's important. Those could be day one starters on our team, okay? So you got picks 25, 57, 60, and 89. Let me repeat that. This is a draft haul. 25, 57, quick turnaround to 60, and a quick turnaround to 89. No excuses. The assets are there, man. So we need to capitalize on this. And D&I said, we have to strike. We have to get all 4 of these. It's very important. There's a lot of pressure on the guy, but hey, guess what? When you sign your name on the dotted line, you already know, okay? Too much is given, much is expected. And I feel like right now we're in a good place because one thing's for certain, if you have a good head coach in Ben Johnson, a good defensive coach, listen, I don't feel sorry for Poles no more. He's got everybody. At one point, he was the only voice in the room that you'd listen to as a rookie GM and had to clear cap space and do all kinds of craziness. The first year shouldn't even count, in my opinion. If I was the owner, I'd be like, listen, you took care of a lot of headache, but I'm glad that's behind us. And I feel like right now we're in a good place. And I want to talk about our top 6 needs. And I want to go one by one with you, D Nice. I want to get your reaction, okay? The number one need right now that I feel, and I know you do too, we've talked about this, is safety. I feel like this is the biggest void on this entire defense, man. You can't keep patching it with journeyman, okay? You need a true center field guy who can cover and can hit. Do you agree on this? What's your take?
100% correct. The safety position is the only one that doesn't have a full starting spot. We have the one starting Kobe Bryant, but we have a void at the starting spot at safety compared to the other positions that we have. Now, we have needs in those other positions, but we also have starters in those positions. Safety is the only position on the defense that don't have 2 starters.
I agree. And I will say this, even as far as from a starting standpoint, I feel like when we do get one, we still might need to go look for a backup somewhere. I really feel like we've got a couple good backups, okay, but I still feel like we need to get one more. Maybe a guy that's double-breasted, maybe a guy that can play other positions, defensive back, cornerback, safety, all that. I really think that's crucial. I think that's important. Kind of like what they do with the offensive line and defensive line. You want to make sure a guy that can play multiple positions just in case a guy goes down, because you never know when that's going to happen. And you need a guy that is not as good as the guy that you draft, but a guy that can come in and you don't really miss his void for too much, not a big gap in between, if you will.
Right.
Number 2 is edge rusher, man. Okay. Free agency came and went. Poles didn't land one, I feel like. And because of that, right now, this has to be addressed. No way around it. We need to get an edge rusher. How do you land on that, D-Nice? What's your take?
Whether you get it at 25, 57, or 60, it is time for Poles to get a foundational piece at the edge rusher position. A bigger thing, it's also time to develop the guys that's already in the building.
You got to develop those guys in the building. I think that's why they went and got a guy in Grady for the defensive line, get one more veteran piece out there that can talk and to kind of mold these guys and be there. I'm not saying that we should have. I feel like right now he looks like he's overpaid. I don't think he is. I think if you get another piece in the interior defensive line, he could really come out. And I still feel like he's got a couple miles left on them tires. I don't think dude, listen, there's some guys out there right now that are pushing 40. That cat from Pittsburgh, man. And they've got that baked into their plan. Like, they're just like, Casey, bro, come on back. I don't care. If you can make it, we'll get you out of here. You're going to get some good quality minutes. I'm like, bro, when Casey Hampton's gone, that's going to be a big void over there. But getting back to the Bears, I wouldn't even mind Casey Hampton on this defensive line right now. So we need to do our due diligence, and I really think we need to get a defensive tackle. We need that interior push for number 3. We can't just rely on the edge. We got to get that interior push, because when your defensive tackles don't demand double teams, then it's tougher on your edge, and it suffers throughout the whole landscape in terms of pressure against the quarterback. How do you feel about that, D-Nice?
Hey, you're absolutely right, Trax. I may sound like a broken record here, but the truth is the truth. We have to get a young dog at the defensive tackle position that can consistently bring pressure and command double teams on the opposite team's offensive line.
I like that.
It's something that has to happen. And the key word in all of that is consistency, because we have players at these positions, but we don't have the consistent guy that can constantly bring pressure on the other team's offensive line.
Absolutely, man. Now, number 4 is very important. It's the opposite lens of it, center. Why this is so important? There's no depth. We got a guy in Luke Newman. He's like utility knife. And we think that he is because in the moments of college, he did really good at Michigan State. But I digress, because as far as we know, he's played a little bit in a small period in the NFL. So we don't know how deep it is. That's not his true position. That's not a position that has high reps leading to retention. I still feel that we need to do our due diligence and go get a center in this draft. Now, I'm not on board with getting somebody early. I feel like the defense is more important. I do feel like as soon as Drew Dahlman said I was going to retire, that they went out and pivoted really quickly and went and got Bradbury. They went and said as much. And we're going to have an episode where we show how much tremendous value and a steal that they got in picking up Bradbury. It was huge, but you still got to go out and get a center. I'm not saying you get him this early. If they do, I understand why. But for me, I would get him later on in the rounds. Offensive line has been a revolving door for the Chicago Bears. Caleb needs to trust his protection and start up the middle. It all starts in the middle. That's why it was so important. We felt like we finally got a guy in Drew Dahlman. And then, hey, listen, make no mistake about it. You and I have always said that on this show. If a man retires, don't ever give him a hard time. He knows his body better than anyone else. So he retired. Now we got to shift. We got to pivot. We got to look for something else. I feel like they did a good job in getting him, but you still need to go get a center in this draft. For me, like I said, I just don't think it's that early.
Gary Bradbury was a welcome addition for getting him on the fly. His intangibles is amazing. I think it worked perfect with this football team. But getting a center that they can develop and take over for Bradbury at the end of his Bears tenure has to be in the plans.
Yeah, and you know what else is in my plans is a cornerback. I feel like we need a cornerback. Now, what's funny is we talked about early and often on our show on Chicago Sports Podcast and Shy Sports Network, we talked about how deep we were before the season start, and quickly that unfolded. Quickly that just all turned around, complete 180. Next thing you know, we're looking for guys. We took Nashawn Wright. He was off the streets, man. We picked him up. We put him in there. Next thing he's going to the Pro Bowl. It's crazy. So I don't know if that's part of Al Harris or what, but I really feel like sometimes it's a part of the system. It's a part of the coaching and not so much the player. Now, he's a special player, okay? He's got a good talent, but we need guys that play the brand of Chicago Bears. We need a guy that can fly to the ball, that can tackle, that can do all the things right. We don't need a one-trick pony where, okay, go get that 5th interception. You're due. Go to the Pro Bowl. We need you to make them tackles, baby. We got to. We don't need a guy out there that's just going to go up there and try to knock it down or get an interception. We need you to do everything right, because I'm telling you right now, I'm running the ball right to you on the outside or doing a nice little screenplay, something coming your direction, because I know you're going to fold like a lawn chair if I'm coming straight at you, sir. And I feel like we need to go out and get that cornerback. Our depth is thin, one injury, and it unravels, man. We don't need a star here necessarily. We need reliable depth. But if there is a star born in the second round and we can go do our due diligence and grab a guy, I don't have a problem with that, especially since we got 2 picks, 57 and 60. What say you, D-Nice? How do you feel about this right here?
As you mentioned, the secondary position group was a position of security for us for a bit. But guys, like you said, guys are snake bitten with injury, uncertainty with some of the guys. Are they going to be Chicago Bears in the future? And then it's just a bunch of inconsistent play. Grabbing a guy in the second round.
Yes.
If he meets you on the board, you have to take him, because we have to find a healthy guy that loves to tackle and can get off blocks.
Speaking of tackles, we need to address the offensive line, okay? And we need somebody that can hold those blocks for Caleb Williams' blindside to be protected, to keep his jersey clean and keep him upright. He is our future. He is our franchise. He's very important. The first thing that we do when we go and get a nice car or a nice home for our families is we go get that insurance to protect mayhem. There's no way, no how that I'm going to go out and go spend a bunch of money, okay, and all of a sudden, now I don't have insurance on it. You got to get a left tackle. You got to protect Caleb's blindside. You got to keep him clean and confident and all that. You can't ignore it. And if not now, this becomes a round 2 or 3 conversation, okay? ESPN Courtney Cronin said the top 3 positions that are important are edge, safety, and center. And I agree with her. And when the national media and the film guys are saying the same thing, you listen, okay? So anything on this list that you'd like to reorder?
Everything.
Okay.
I'm ordering everything again, because this is not just for 26. This is for 27, 28, 30, and beyond.
Okay. I will say one thing that we need to get in order. We need to get our bets in order. They back us. We love them. Go use a link in the descriptions. We're talking draft wagers. It's a smart way to bet for Bears fans, okay? Here's some suggestions that I have for the draft, okay, coming forward. You got Bears draft edge in the first round, I would say, okay? If the board falls right, this hits. Messidor Young still on the board at 25. Pulls the trigger. This is a solid bet, I would say. The Bears trade back. You might want to look at that from 25. Accumulate picks. We need lots of picks. We need to fill a lot of holes, okay? Here's another one I'm interested in. If the top edge guys are gone, He definitely moves back and grabs some more ammo. I really feel like edge is the most important position. I think safety is very important too, but you can find value later. Trade back and force multiply. That's what I'm going with, especially if a team wants to jump for a QB or a receiver. Okay. We could look at that where they trade up to get our guy at pick 25 and they trade with us. What about if the Bears take a safety in round 2? If edge goes at 25, during the live draft, you could quickly place your bet on FanDuel and safeties move at 50, 57, or 60. If you do back-to-back picks like we have in 57 and 60 in round 2, it means they could double dip on defense. That could be another bet altogether. Here's another one that I'm interested in this season. Caleb's over under on passing yards for 2026. I really think that we will see Caleb with an uptick in yards this year. They're going to have a lot better offense. They hit the ground running, but they had to install a lot of newness. They had to get rid of a lot of old things. And once they worked all that out, Ben Johnson said, hey, listen, we're not going to start new. This is our second year, so you're going to see us roll out a lot quicker. You're not going to see that slow start into week 1 and 2 where they dropped the first 2 games. So I really feel like Caleb's over for passing yards for 2026 is a bet that I would be interested in. With this draft class, potentially adding protection and a pass rusher would be something that I want to look at. Nice. What wager would you put money on all these options? Which one tantalizes you?
Definitely an uptick in passing yards for Caleb Williams and passing touchdowns for that matter.
Ooh, definitely I like that. Ooh, I
that
like
one. That. Yeah. Those two get at me the most. Yeah. Listen, I can't wait to put my money on them.
You know what? I think also we would look at more yards for Caleb.
Total yards.
Rushing yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that Caleb, total yards too. This could be a force multiplier. You see what I'm saying? We're opening Pandora's box, baby.
Yes, it did.
And that's where you would do like a parlay. And so that would be something to look at. Like I said, drop your thoughts in the comments below, okay? D-Nice, you have anything that you want to add before we move forward?
We spoke about the pass, and I think we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. Yeah. But do you realize it's been forever since we've had a elite pass rusher that we drafted?
I don't even know if it was listen, I know that it's been forever since Leonard Floyd, since we drafted a guy in the first round, but I wouldn't call him elite. I know
not at all.
I know he's still in the league. I think this is the most important position. So let's go deep on edge, because this is the whole conversation that the Bears they need an elite pass rusher. And I don't think, D-Nice, I don't think that Sweat, I'm not saying that Sweat can't be elite. I still think we could see a resurgence by him. I just think he needs some more help. And I think anybody in this position, listen, we could bring back Khalil Mack from when we had him. If you don't have that defensive line with Hakeem Hicks, you now all of a sudden, guess what? I don't think you look at a guy in Khalil and he does as good. You got to have that defensive line. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now,
I'm looking for a guy in Hakeem Hicks. I wish his brother was in the draft, man.
I was about to say, where's Hakeem Hicks in his draft? We need one.
Yeah. Now, leave it in the comments below if you guys know if there's
let us know something. But
we want to talk about that guy early and often.
Let's talk about this edge rusher situation. Do you realize, Trax, the last elite pass rusher that we acquired was either Khalil Mack or Robert Quinn? But the last elite pass rusher that was drafted was Richard Dent in 1983.
And he was a 7th rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
8th
rounder. Okay. Yeah.
8th rounder.
We need to look at the day 2 gems. I think it's important that in picks 57, 60, and 89, this is where polls can really win. Okay. Everyone talks round 1 is important and polls wins championships on day 2. I think 1 is important for sure. But you look at 57, 60, and 89, he's focusing on that for sure. We might even see the pick in 25 get traded back So be very comfortable with that, especially if he doesn't see those two edges that he wants to go get at pick 25. So now pick three picks between 57 and 89. That's unprecedented value, man. This edge class is very deep. Round two has some serious, legitimate starters for sure. Now, day two, edge names to watch out for. D Nice, take it away. Tell us two or three names that you like that are your favorites right now for day two, day three.
Denied Dennis Sutton is one.
Yep.
Malachi Lawrence, if he somehow makes it to day two, is another.
Yep. The kid from Illinois, I know you like him, right?
Gabe Yakis for sure is one. So those are three guys for me.
Now, for day two, other positions I'm looking at, this safety class is deep in round 2 and 3. We could double dip on defense. Center value could be there at 89, smart, low risk move, but we already have a center, and I know we need a little bit more depth, but I don't think that's key there. I think if a cornerback falls, Poles won't ignore it, and he'll go lock him up in day two. So the move for me is edge at 25, safety at 57 or 60, and best available at 89. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at, and that's a draft that changes this defense in one night. Okay, does that mock draft feel right to you, or would you want to tweak it really quick, like just a little bit?
I like it is.
Okay.
But you can never have the perfect draft. But as long as the pieces fit, it's all good.
Bears Nation, let's see what you guys got, okay? But we want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Biggest need. What's your number one need for you, okay? Type A, M, or ZY to pick your edge, okay? Who do you want at 57? And listen, what are you placing your bet on draft night on FanDuel, okay? We read every comment. We respond. This is a community. This is a show created from a fan to fan so your voice can be heard, okay, on Believe Network. So, D Nice, shout out some names from previous comments that in some thoughts that you've had before that you've read, man. What do you like out there that the people are talking about?
I like the fact that the Chicago fans are hungry to get that foundational pass rusher. I love that. Yep. It's a very intense situation when it comes down to this draft, and it's getting closer and closer. But like I said, TJ from Clemson, Denied Dennis Sutton, these are guys that we're hearing about, especially in the second round. But
bottom line is Ryan Poles has zero excuses in this draft. Zero. The picks are there. The needs are clear. The prospects are available. Edge, safety, center, get it done, Poles. Caleb Williams is waiting. Bears Nation is waiting. We need this to happen. This is something that he needs to stand on. This is the draft that tells us what kind of GM Poles really is. His back's up against the wall. What's he going to do about it? We don't have a whole lot of money. They could strategically move some stuff around, but out of all 32 teams in the NFL, we are one of the teams with the least amount of cap penalties, and that's huge. That is how you build. That's the whole reason why they got Poles, is to clear us out of cap hell. Don't put us back in there. And I think he's doing a really good job. A lot of people are nervous about that money, but I think he's doing it really good way, man. This draft is going to tell us what kind of GM Poles really is. D Nice, you got a final word. What's your grade if Poles lands edge and safety in round 1 and 2?
A+. Those are two critical positions of need, especially safety, because we need a second starter back there along with Kobe Bryant. So I give it an A+ if we're able to land one of the true top edge rushers in the draft and the top safety.
I agree. Folks, make sure you subscribe to Believe in Bears, okay? And also subscribe to Believe Network, okay? We don't miss anything at all. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, wherever you consume, okay? Man, question me. Contact me with questions, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it, man. It's all in fun, right? We're Bears fans. We fellow Bears fans, and we love engagement. Share this on X for a personal repost from me. I will make sure that happens. And one more time, FanDuel, link in the descriptions. It's the best place to draft on draft night. Okay. D-Nice, send us home, man.
Listen, shout out to everybody that rocks with us here at Believe in Bears. Shout out to you, Tracks. Listen, take care of everybody, and you guys hold it down out there and be safe. As always, bear down.